Cooks are like pirates. Cooks, once they leave home, they never go back. That's how you achieve something different. And as long as you are proud of what you do, things are gonna work out. And it's something that you have in your blood and in your mind. And once you touch a kitchen, it will never let you go back. If you're passionate enough to follow that passion and to follow that path, you will never go back. You have a beautiful place.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Very nice to be at your house. Thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
Yeah. It's Alvaro
Yeah.
Clavijo.
Yes. You did it. You've been practicing.
You know, I'm excited to talk to you. Tell me, what is the first meal, the first time or the first thing you ever tasted that changed your life?
It was a cucumber salad with tahini sauce.
How old were you? Where was it? Tell me
Around
the whole thing.
13, 14 years old. And it's because my stepfather, he's from Israel and he's half French, half from Israel. And I grew up in a house that we didn't cook that much. And every time we cooked, it was like the simple, like basic meals that you might have in Colombia in a regular family house. But when this guy came into my house, into my family, he started like to open my mind into ingredients in an amazing way. So this is like one of the first memories I have in my mind. I can answer like that fast because I still remember the
Yeah.
flavor, and it changed the way I thought about food.
So you saw he told you, oh, try this. He made the thing. Did he bring the cucumber
He
from?
he just brought it, bought it, and he just started to doing it from zero. And normally cucumbers you will just like see them in another way in Colombia, like chop brunoise, like in like little slices. But this guy was like chopping them like in circles, like and then he did this amazing dressing. It's just like maybe it sounds super simple, but when you are from that part of the world and you don't see that very often, it could change your mind, and the way you perceive ingredients and food.
So you bite into it. What surprised you? What was the sensation of the first bite?
To the freshness, like how amazing something fresh and raw can taste with just a simple dressing. And that happened that I remember that suddenly changed the way I thought about food, and it just opened my mind into a new world for ingredients. But at the time, I didn't thought I was gonna be a cook. There will be a lot of cooks saying that I've been cooking. I come from a family business of restaurants, or like maybe in my house they were cooking a lot. I don't come from that background. My family, my mother, she's an helicopter pilot. My father, he died when I was 4 years old. So I don't in my house we was just like we didn't cook a lot. So my daily basic food was it was like rice, beans, and meat all day long. And that was like we just like or food.
So let's get even more specific. You take your first bite. Tell me the sensation, like all your senses, what's happening.
Watery, the acidity of the dressing, and like all the thickness of the tahini in the cucumber. I remember if I could close my eyes right now and like think about the flavor, it's just like water running through your mouth and making like you more asking for more saliva to
Oh, yeah.
being able to chew like this. Just so super simple. But when
Yeah.
you imagine when you're that
And the crunch
experience
also, right?
and the crunchiness, yeah,
And so different from what you just said about the meat and the right,
exactly.
Yeah. So what's
Because
different
while we
about
were
it?
yeah, because we were just talking about something fresh, and my daily basic food was like super like aggressive on the stomach, like stews and like beans and rice. And I mean, it's funny because I'm still addicted to them, but
Yeah.
but I will never thought on ingredients as fresh as a cucumber could be in a salad. I'm talking 13 years old.
Is there something that you make today that takes that takes you back to that moment, or that you want to show that feeling to a guest or somebody's
Yes,
eating? Yeah.
yes, exactly. That's a very good question because actually the way I think on food right now, it's it's on that basic feeling that I got when I got the cucumber. But I mean, I don't get inspired from it. But I think now that you're like making me think about it, it connects in a lot of ways because in Colombia we're a country that we have so many fruits, and we don't use them. We use them barely for. Doesn't that cucumbers didn't exist before? They existed, but it's how people they approach them and how they cook them and how they serve them that people start to get um, like feelings and memories about them.
Mm,
So the way I think about food, it's through ingredients that they're very well known to Colombians even, and that's the reason I try to connect those two like moments in my life. Like when I design a dish, I try to think on freshness, I try to think on acidity, I try to think on crunchiness, and I try to challenge people to go further that what might they have on mind. That's
mm,
also what it happened to me when I had that cucumber salad.
wow. Colombia, I guess from the outside, I feel like Colombia doesn't have as much of a I guess a food prestige when viewed from the outside as like some of the other South American like in Argentina or something like that. And I'm not saying that it's fair, but what is your feeling about that? The representation of Colombian food. What how does the world view Colombian food and what would you like it?
I will be like thrilled if you answered that for me because I work only with Colombian
Yeah,
ingredients
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. But as you're saying, like it's not a matter of comparison between like what might be happening in Peru, Mexico, Argentina, which in Central and South America might be the most well-known gastronomy so
Absolutely.
far.
Yeah.
But in Colombia, it's like Christmas for me. It's like you never know what's gonna happen, and that's the cool thing about what we do and the approach to ingredients the approach to ingredients that we have, because it's not very well known. Um, and I'm not trying to write again like the book of Colombian gastronomy. I'm just trying to push what we find on Colombia into other boundaries so people they can like see them and being able to experience them in other ways.
So let's go now from that moment. You taste it. Now you're like, you never even thought, you had not even thought about cooking as a thing.
No, not at
You
all.
taste it, and then let's go. Tell me the story. Tell me the journey from there.
So at that point, I really like was like interested into food. So he told me a couple of tricks just to impress girls when I was like inviting them to my house, but it's just like useless tries. You know, I like keep fucking it up, and it's like I was like just not able to achieve what I was expecting to be. So a lot of mistakes, and through all those mistakes, I learned that food was endless. Was uh, it's just like infinity and beyond, as but most like you might say. It's like that's the way I think about food. You know,
Infinity and beyond.
infinity and beyond. I love that phrase.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite phrases in English. I wanted to use it. I was saving it for you. No, it's
No,
just
most people when they do a Pixar movie, they
what
do
is
Ratatouille.
what is beyond infinity.
Yeah, what is it?
What is it? That's cooking for me.
So
You
you
know,
see a possibility. You imagine a possibility.
I don't see it, and that's the reason I do what I do. You know, because if my training and we're gonna go through that probably it's very French, but I went to culinary school in Spain.
Hmm.
I worked in France, so my I lost my fear through ingredients. A lot in Spain. Spain
So you lost your what?
lost the fear for ingredients.
So you were afraid of using ingredients
I
that you
was afraid
didn't.
because as I was saying, like I mean, I was able to manage a cucumber and maybe beans, but then you go to the Mediterranean Sea and see this like Ferran Adria techniques and like all the people like doing and following students following this path of becoming a cook, and for me it was like too much information to be able to process through the way I was.
It's overwhelming,
It was over.
and
It
because
was.
you're
It's
limited
still, yeah.
yeah, because the ingredients in the normal Colombian cooking is limited, right?
And you were also saying that, you know, because we're not even as a Colombian, it's something that I really didn't knew at the time. Now I'm 40 years old and I still like still discovering so many things. That's the reason I recall ingredients to for me Colombian ingredients as Christmas, because it's an endless possibility of things that you might find when you just think about designing a dish.
So you go so you're in Barcelona, then you're in Paris, and tell me about what happened then.
So I was in Spain, and then I was just remembering that I mean, one thing I have to say is that I went to culinary school without my mother knowing I was there.
I'm sorry, say that
My
one more
mother, she didn't knew I was there. My
Your
mother,
oh, sorry, you left. Okay, so your parents
my mother, my father passed away. Then she got married to this guy that I was telling you about, and then my mother, she was retired because she had a kid and she was my sister. She was not able to being able a helicopter pilot anymore, so she was just like mainly at home.
uh,
Um, and she designed necklaces right now. She's like from another like a very artistic part of my family, and that's the reason I think was like she didn't want me to go to culinary school. She wanted me to be an architect. She wanted me to be a medic. Like at
so
the time was not normal to be a cook.
so in Colombia, being a cook was still not a respected
Not at all.
was not a
Not at all.
respected
Not at
profession at
all.
all.
Not at all. At the time, I'm telling you, I'm talking to you about 22 years ago.
What about your stepfather who gave you that
He gave
delicious bite?
me he gave me like he encouraged me, but he had his doubts. So we ended up in France with them at some point,
Like
and
they
then
took you on a vacation?
they took me because I was living there. Then I finished my school there. Then I went there, and then I wanted to I had to have a job. So I started as a dishwasher in Paris. So 70 years old. Go to We went to France. I started washing dishes there. Then we went back to Colombia. And in Colombia, what happened is that I was supposed to, I mean, you need to start to study something. So I told my mother, I want to go to the US. I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to apply to the University of Maryland to become an architect. Of course, I was denied. It was like impossible. I was supposed to be like doing like certain things to achieve to be accepted on Maryland University.
Did you want to be an architect?
At the beginning, I thought it was a possibility, but I didn't thought I really wanted to. When I was in Paris washing dishes, that's when I realized I wanted to be a cook because I was washing dishes with three guys from Sri Lanka, one Mexican chef, and I felt that it was that was the place I needed to be for the rest of my life. Just
What
didn't.
restaurant?
It was a Tex-Mex restaurant, still exists. It's like huge clay pots, like all full of beans, and like I was washing those with cold water. It was very hard, tough job. You know, I was like, working 24th, 31st of December. It was like New Year's Eve. It was tough, but I felt something in me that really I was like that was home for me. That was where I wanted to be.
What sparked your imagination about being working in a restaurant? Like, what was is there a moment that you can remember where you're like, "Oh, wow, I belong here?"
This Yeah, like us the first time I got in. The first time I got into that kitchen, and I'm telling you, three guys from Sri Lanka that even spoke French. They were like just pointing ingredients and telling me what to do. And I was so bad washing dishes that they were like desperate, but it was like they were like they felt like sorry for me in some way. So we need to help this guy somehow, otherwise he's gonna get fired. So then I became a cook. They put me on the line, and then I realized I wanted to be there the rest of my life. But
Mm.
I didn't know how to tell my mother because as I was saying, it was very hard for her because at the time being a cook in Colombia was seen like nothing.
Yeah, it's like a low class, like being a servant or something. And wow. So there are no prestige restaurants in Colombia. There's no famous Colombian chef, huh?
So far, they used to at the time. Maybe it was like a couple of chefs that they existed, but super classical ones, and they were like not pushing the way like cooks they push right now in Colombia. So, but I see that as an opportunity. That's the reason I
Yeah.
decided to went back to Colombia to open my restaurant.
Okay, so then you didn't make architecture school.
No,
Then
so
what happened?
I lied to my family. My grandmother. I was supposed to be living with my grandmother, but I wasn't. So after 3 months, I was in Spain
Wait, so
studying.
I'm sorry, you told them that you got in?
No, I told them I was there, and I was like, they didn't know what I was exactly doing.
So you failed the architecture test.
Yes,
Did you tell them that you failed the test?
no.
So then you went to Spain
So then I went to Spain,
and they think you're
and
going to
my si-
they think you're going to, or you're being vague or
no, they thought I was living with my grandmother. I didn't spoke like for 3 months with my mother. We don't have a very close
oh,
relation.
I see, I
It's not
see.
like a daily like what are
Oh,
you doing
okay. Yeah.
today? What I mean,
Okay.
we are like
See,
more like a separate family. We just like talk each other when it's like
I hear you.
necessary. So my sister, she helped me at the time. My sister, she was living in Switzerland. So my sister called I called her and it's like, this is what I want to do. She's like, okay, are you sure? I'll help you out. So she helped me with my apartment, the place where I was living in Barcelona. She paid the tuition for the 6 months. And then I got my mother. She noticed, of course, after 3 months, like, where are you calling me? You're not with with my mother. Where are you? I'm in Spain. So we stopped talking for almost like for 3 more months. So I didn't talk her for almost 6 months.
So the cat you so you they knew were exposed. They knew.
They knew, and it
And
was like, okay, what is this guy? Okay, you're lying to me. You're
yeah.
crazy. This is my mother. This is what I want to do. This is my
Wow.
path. So then we stopped talking like for almost 3 months more, and then we got Christmas together in Washington D.C. And my sister says, "Okay, but my mother is coming. You're coming. You need to cook something for us. Like show us that this is what you really want to do." I got intoxicated. My grandmother, my stepfather, everyone was almost in the clinic one night before New Year's Eve.
What happened?
They got food poisoning. Yeah.
No, this is an amazing story. This is like the best story ever. This is so it's so good. Okay, so you're excited. This is a big moment.
Yeah.
You're gonna win. So you go to Washington, D.C.
Hmm.
Your sister lives in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Your mother and your stepfather are gonna come and visit
My
from
grandmother for
your
Christmas.
grandmother and grandmother, all coming from Colombia
Yes.
to visit for Christmas. It's gonna be a reuniting,
Yeah.
and you're gonna prove to them that you're gonna make it
Yeah.
and you're gonna do this thing. What did you cook
I did a stock, like a fish stock with a salmon's head with for fish stock for cooking a paella.
for cooking a paella?
Yeah. So imagine like the amount of fat when you cook bones from a salmon. Imagine that was the only fish I found in the market at the time, and I was super nervous about the whole situation. So I just bought the fish bones from the salmon, and then I started to make a broth to cook the paella with. So imagine the amount of fat that that rice had, and they all ate it. So
What did you tell could you tell anything was wrong with it? Like, you smell it? Did
no, I
you
was
taste
just
it? It
happy. I was
tasted
just
normal?
no. We were all in food poison. It was like the
No, I'm saying that how did was there any detection? Like, you were making the thing,
yeah.
were you nervous and then you didn't taste it? Or, like, why
No, I
were
tasted it and it was like
it's
okay,
fine.
but it was super fatty. I was like super nervous. There was like no time to go to the market and buy and restart the whole thing again. It was New Year's Eve, so I didn't have to go time to cook anything else. So I just like served it like that. And I was, I mean, I'm telling you, I was like just 6 months like coming out of culinary school, like with no knowledge at all.
Yeah.
So I just like did that.
And you're so nervous because they're all say this is the moment
This is the moment.
where you're gonna be able to
Yeah,
convince
then
them
who cooked this?
that
And
you
at the
could
end,
do
is
this thing and, like,
yeah,
come to
yeah,
the US, look, there are chefs here, like, people care. There's, like, Jose Andres is here in DC, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Was that a thing?
I mean, at the beginning, I remember coming to his restaurant called Satinja in Washington. He had
Yeah.
a Greek restaurant, and we came with my family a couple of times when we came to the US because I came to Washington D.C. very often for my grandmother.
Yeah.
My almost my all my family they live in the
Oh, I
US.
got it, okay.
Yeah.
And that's who did he inspire the paella?
No,
No, you love to make the paella.
no, because I was cooking in Barcelona, so I thought
Oh, right, that's where you learned. Of
yeah,
course, I'm
yeah,
so
because
sorry.
I
I
was there.
got
I
you.
learned in Barcelona, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's the reason I thought it was just like interesting
No,
just
and
to
it's
cook
what you know.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
that's
it.
what I know. That's what I thought I knew.
So you're like, this is a safe bet. Then you're getting nervous. You can't get the thing. You're like,
Yeah,
oh my God, it has to be on time. They're
yeah,
gonna judge me.
yeah.
I hope this works.
And I did it all wrong.
And so everybody's eating the food, and did they think it was delicious?
They ate it. They didn't. I don't know if it was delicious or not for them, but maybe it's like okay, this guy made this. Like it took him 2 days to do this rice. That's so cute. Let's just eat it.
Oh my God.
And they all got food poison.
And so you too.
Me too. Everyone.
And so what did you feel like? What happened after? Like, what
Oh, my
happened?
mother said, you're going to end up in jail or you're going to end up being a good cook. So that's when my mother comes in the whole equation. And that's where my mother starts to help me to go to culinary school in a better way. It's because at the time I was studying, I was working, and I was studying. So three jobs, so three things a day
Yeah.
in Barcelona. So imagine, like, I mean, so what do you need? It's like, I mean, okay, I'm struggling myself to pay my rent, to pay my tuition. Just help me because this is what I want to do.
So she's like, oh my God. That's really nice though. I guess you were probably afraid that they were not gonna be so angry at you. Like, you probably felt a big shame,
Exactly.
I imagine, from that. And then your mom says, if you're gonna do this, let's do it right so you don't
So
kill people.
you might kill us, but not anyone else. We're not gonna sue you. We're not gonna take you to jail. I mean, at least
That's
like
really
what
sweet of her. Yeah, she saw.
that's
Was there a
sweet.
thing? Was there a moment where you were like, you kind of like were like, "You're my mom, and please help me." Like, can you?
That was the one. That was the only one because I was proud of myself, but she was. I was like, I mean, imagine like my ego, like trying to say, like, this is what I want to do. I don't get why you don't support me. I mean, what do I need? I need almost to get you killed to support me,
Right, because it just
and then it
shows that,
happened. Yeah,
yeah, it just shows that you need the education because it's hard. I
exactly,
imagine you're doing all this work, you're in the kitchen, you're seeing it, but then you have to spend all the time. You're not getting to learn like the fundamentals of how to
exactly,
like do a stock, what it's
exactly,
supposed to taste like.
exactly. And
Yeah.
imagine all the things you've been saying before, and all the questions that you keep asking. Is like I don't come from a background that this basic stuff, but I knew that was the one thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Mm.
So I just needed the basic stuff to get right on track and being able to do it. And like here I am, 22 years after, like doing the same thing and more passionate than ever.
Yeah. So okay, so you went to the cooking schools. Then you went back to Barcelona for cooking school.
Yes,
You went to Le Cordon Bleu in Paris.
yes.
And then what was your first like job working in a restaurant now that
Bristol,
you're a cook?
during Barcelona, I was studying in a couple of restaurants. Sergio Ariola was one star.
Say it again.
Sergio Ariola, he had
Okay.
a restaurant in Hotel Arts, which was one star. That was my first internship in Barcelona. But I mean, at the time, I was, as I was saying before, it was overwhelming all the techniques that Spain was offering at the time. My dream was to. I had the language. I knew how to speak French. So I really knew I wanted to go back to France and being able to cook with cover pots and burn myself and dress all white and how to know how to reduce a proper sauce, how to make a mayonnaise without hydrocolloids. It's like I wanted to be a real cook, and for me, Spain, I respect that a lot. But I mean, at the moment, Spain offered me a lot of chemistry on the food
Oh, sure, because it was the El Bulli
and bully
moment
all
there
moment. So
and the
everyone
gastronomy, but
exactly.
it wasn't like the classic
No,
French cooking. It's
no,
another new wave in
exactly,
Spain.
and I always felt somehow in my heart that I really wanted to go back to that to learn that way. I really wanted to learn, like, from cover pots, like dress all white, being able to reduce a sauce, being able to know the basic French cooking that I apply a lot on what we do right now, and that's all my basic. That's what I love.
Why that idea? Like, where's the idea of being in the French kitchen, in the classic French kitchen?
It's just that for me,
Like, where's the image of that in your mind coming
it's just
from?
one of the first books I got in my life was Escoffier,
I
and
think I
it's
have it on the shop. Oh, no.
you have it.
No, yeah, I know, not in this shop. I have a whole bunch of cookbooks over there.
Oh
But
yeah,
the
but
Escoffier book is like
Scofier book
it's like the textbook, right?
is that it's the Bible. I remember I got one, and I was the first book I bought, and the first book I went through, like in the kitchen. So I dreamed. It's a book that you go through it, and you start to imagine like all the classical way of thinking on French cooking.
Yeah.
So that's what I really inspired me to go back, and
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to experiment it. Because when you go to France at the time, I don't know these days, but at the time is French, they don't want to talk. Even if they speak English, they don't want to speak English. Even if they're French, they just want to talk French. In kitchens at the time, there was only two Japanese guys, and the rest of the brigade was only French people. I was the only South American in that kitchen,
Yeah.
and they saw me like as a monkey. You know, it's like, who are you? Who is this guy?
How'd you get the job?
Where is Colombia?
Where is they don't
Where
even know
is
what they
Oh,
don't know what
and the
Colombia
one
is.
that knew was like the typical joke about Pablo Escobar, which is
Oh yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, what'd you bring?
Oh, are you Pablo Escobar's cousin or something?
Oh my
That's
god.
like this always so ignorant. But that's what I had to deal with, um, and that kept me going. You know, like I mean, who are these people? Are you French? It doesn't matter if you're French, Australian, Peruvian, Argentinian, or even American. We all have the same abilities if you're passionate enough, and that's what I had in my mind always, always.
It's a very Ratatouille moment, you know,
Yeah,
the movie
especially
Ratatouille,
when
because you
you
mentioned
are
the Pixar before.
exactly.
Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great.
I fully agree with that.
So you were going to prove yourself. You knew that you had the skill, you have the drive, and you have the taste. You feel like you have the taste.
I think every cook at some point in its maturity on its life achieves something that they never expected through their mouth. I've heard a lot of, and this is one of a very personal view about cooks is that if you have a great palate, you can point yourself and see yourself whatever in the world. What I mean about that is that palate can, you might be not the most skilled chef in the world, but if you have a great palate and you understand where you're going, it's endless.
Mm,
Achieve so many recipes, so many things, so many
yeah.
creative stuff, and also be a good director. That's when you are in above a lot of process you've been through a cook.
So
But
you become a chef. So it's like, is that what you're saying, or it's
I
like
just
or
I
you're
was
or a cook?
is when you become a chef. When you, I mean, if
The
you understand,
leadership, the ability to lead, the ability to have the skill, you know, and you learn the
yeah,
skill, and then the palate.
the
Those are the
palate.
three pieces, right?
But the palate, it's very important because I know a lot of people they don't notice like certain things on their mouth. You just like great take it for granted. Like, okay,
Mm.
this is just good and that's it. Or this is good and bad, or I don't like certain ingredients. But when you start to identify them and I start to evolve about through them through your mouth, you can achieve endless things. That's one of the things that I think I really enjoy the most about like cooking. Like how can this tastes different. It's like vegetables when you take them to another side of the world. I mean, in another path, it's like when you smoke them, dehydrate them, and then rehydrate them in another juice. Like it's amazing how somebody can. A lot of people came to my restaurant. It's like I don't eat beets. Wow, wow, okay,
Mhm.
but I have this smoked beet that has the taste as meat. If you smoke them and then you dehydrate them a little bit, it's a beet, but it's a perfectly cooked beet that has another possibility as probably the beet you had before in your mind. And I know a lot of people they start to eat beets because they came to my restaurant,
Yeah.
and that's something that it makes me very proud of what we do. That's I strongly believe they're like no bad ingredients. They're just ingredients that they're like they deserve their place in the world, and it's the job of cooks to show them to make them bright.
So that must be very satisfying to be able to open someone's mind. They have a story in their mind that they don't like this thing, you know? I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they're very tough about trying things, of course, right? They say, "Oh, I hate that," because, adults often have a thing where they didn't like the thing. One time they had it, they didn't like it, and now it's
And they
all
get
they
closer
don't
forever.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
But I get you because I have a 11-year-old too, and
oh, you have an 11-year-old.
I have a daughter. But when she was the age of what of 6 or 7, it was the worst. It took me forever just to make her try something, and then we made a deal. Like I mean, you just at least try it, and then you have the chance to decide if you don't like it or
Yeah.
not. So
Then you give them the agency to be like,
exactly,
"Tell me what you wanna know how they is it good or bad?" Like, you
yeah.
decide, you be
But
the
it takes
judge.
time to do that,
Does it make you nuts as a chef that you're feeding these
of
people
course.
and people love your food, you're celebrated, and here's the person
That you
in the
love the
world
most.
that you love the most
Yeah,
and you most want her to you wanna
it's
show her
frustrating.
love, and you're actually cooking it special for her that she simple enough that she'll like it, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then what does she say?
She hates it. Like the worst cooker in the world.
Yeah,
That she hates that I only cook like adults' food. But like I get you because it happened the same thing to me. It's just that memories of food. It's all depending on that age, how you approach them to your kids and how you feed them and how you make them understand. Don't pressure them. And it's just a matter of time because I remember, for example, my mother. She made me like you won't get off that table until
dude,
you finish your
I hear
meal.
so much of this, yeah.
And once you go through that process, that's when you
Yeah.
have to it's the palate memory is like makes you hate for the rest of your life something that had endless opportunities. And that's something we cannot do the same thing to our children. Just like give them time.
You think absolutely, because it's not about us, you know? We make so the worst thing that parents do, and, you know, of course, I'm far from a perfect parent, but I try to be mindful of it, is, are we doing the thing that act is actually for them, or are we doing it because we need them to be like us, or we're doing it for ourselves?
That's a very good question.
Because like, I would be like, "Oh, I made this, like, perfect look, I made a little sculpture of the carrots on the thing,"
Useless.
and like, "Oh, you," and I'm like, "Look, I made a carrot tower," and then it's like, "They like carrots." "Not today, motherfucker." "Not today."
That's even after you
Because
go
they
to all
know
that
that
process.
that I'm doing it because I'm like, I want them to praise me for my carrot building, and so I can't show them I can't, like, you gotta keep your cards close.
But also that's what you're saying. Like for example, my daughter when she loved broccoli, but she didn't. She only loved it when it was steamed. If you
Mm,
grill it, if you pan fry it, or even if you boil it with salt, she will notice when she was 5 years old.
yeah, yeah.
And like for like almost until she was 8, she would only like broccoli when it was steamed. It's like okay, this is so picky for a 6-year-old. It's like weird, but I just like wanted to give her pleasure and like not to and being able to enjoy herself in that way.
Yeah.
I just thought it was amazing that she noticed the difference between boiling and steaming for a 6-year-old. It's like,
Okay,
wow,
you're right. So you saw it as, like, she could tell the difference.
she could tell the difference.
That's great.
That she could tell the difference.
So let's take you back to France now. We're gonna kinda run it parallel, I guess. What is the moment, and was it at this restaurant or maybe it was the next job that you got some respect in the kitchen?
So it got at the beginning. It all began because of me because I thought it was I thought it was a very hard job. I remember they got me into walking and they were menacing me like, I mean, you are South American, you are not gonna be able to work in this restaurant. You are useless. They made me clean like heads of veals every day for a lot of time. And I said like I'm gonna I'm gonna keep pushing myself
Yeah,
until
yeah.
I'm being able to see how good I am and how they appreciate my job, so they can give me another one. So I kept going, kept going, kept going, and it was a matter of just like pushing myself to do different and better things every day.
And you did you come so you wouldn't complain? They would just you would do it?
If you complain, it's the worst.
Right, so they were putting you through the trial
They
of
will put me.
giving you the shittiest stuff, and
It's
then eventually
exactly that's how our kitchen works on this level.
it's the brigade.
It's a brigade, and that's how they push yourself and see how soft you are in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
but they're giving you even worse
Of
because
course,
of
no,
Colombia.
exactly, exactly.
So they put
I
you
was
even more of a
mopping, cleaning.
disadvantage.
Yeah, they saw me as nothing.
Yeah.
But that for a lot of people can be a breakdown, and it's like, this is not for me. I'm gonna go back to my Tex-Mex restaurant and like just cooking rice and
Yeah,
beans
did they tell you, like, "You don't belong here, get out of here"?
every day.
How did you keep the strength not to go?
Because I felt I was so passionate at the time, and I knew I was able to do better than them, or at least the same. And I just like not whine about it. Just like keep pushing myself. I arrived early, left later, like my number, like my average schedule. So I keep pushing myself, and that's something that I tell a lot my cooks. You have to think like what can you have to pressure yourself and think what can you do better every day. Like if you're able to do two, 3 things per day, or even six or whatever, just push yourself next day to do more. And that's not about a salary. That's not about that's a passion. That's the most beautiful thing I think about cooks, like because this is very tough profession.
It's not a job that you do if you don't love it,
You don't love it.
then you can't be successful in
No,
it.
not at all.
And it's one of the that's one of the reasons that I make the show about cooks is because it's the hardest thing. There's so much failure in it. Even a great restaurant can close. You know, it's like it's so hard. It's so
Fragile.
fragile. There are so many other ways to like make a living or like make money or whatever it is. It's truly a labor of love, and it's the biggest risk. Opening a restaurant is like the biggest business risk ever.
Will
So
you
much
invest in
competition.
restaurants if you
No,
have a
not at all because I'm
you
terrified. I don't
see?
have any.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
would.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only invest in podcast equipment and like cameras and whatnot, because that's what I know. You know. Um,
No, but if you had the money, like I mean, you know the risk and you know how hard it is,
no, I do absolutely.
and
And if
that's
I had more money, then I would because I do. I can tell if somebody has the passion.
yeah.
You know, what I think is so kind of inspiring about what you're describing is that they're saying all this nasty thing. These French chefs are all saying this nasty stuff to you. They're putting you in the lower, like these are like the mid-level chefs are all treating you like crap.
Yeah.
You believe that you can still do it. You don't believe them. Where does the
I don't. Yeah.
confidence? How do you know you're so good?
From my passion, it's
You're
like
just like, you believe it.
it's just that it's so weird because when some people they just break down so easily, but I never had that in my mind. It was like, okay, I think it's funny they think they're better than me just because they're French or I'm South American. Is that the way they think? They're like ignorance. They make the Pablo Escobar joke. I'm leading with ignorant people that they don't they think they're doing better than me, but I can overwise them. I can do better things than him, and that's what keep me. That was my drive all the time, all the time.
Was there something that you made that you like that people really loved that you or that you cooked for friend or some
No, they just
how did
arrived.
you know that you were gonna be
They
good?
arrived to
No,
the
how did you
kitchen.
know that you were gonna be good? Like, how did you know that you were talented?
No, you never know. And you were saying that
Yeah.
it's a risk. You never know. This is
No,
just
how do you know that you were a good chef and you
I was
didn't
I didn't knew. I didn't knew. I didn't knew. That's the whole that's what you were just saying, It's just that something that some next day people they can break down. In my restaurant, like people, they just like a lot of people they come in, it's like, okay, I want to work in one of the best restaurants in Colombia. So I want to be there. Okay, just come here. I don't even read a CV. Just show up, bring your knives. I'll give you your uniform. Just show up, work one day. One day I'll pay. I even pay that day for you. You just come
it's
and see if you
audition.
like it.
It's a character thing.
And they
It's
just
about
go,
character.
they just say they're gonna go to the toilet and they never come back. With the uniform, their knives, it's like, I'm gonna go to the toilet. They even left their knives sometimes.
Oh my god. Okay, so I see somebody worked in some incredible restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get to a point where like you earned the respect? Where is the respect?
Well, I mean, it was, I didn't even notice when. I cannot tell exactly when it happened, but it's just like I would just blend in. And then when you work in that level of restaurants, you start to make so many contacts that you understand how good people are, and then you start to move around them. and then it's just a matter of pushing yourself on boundaries that you never knew you had before. Like you can pass them and you can
Yeah.
go through them. So I really think that it was just a matter of training and seeing and shaping my own self
Yeah.
into what I am.
Yeah. And then you're working in there, and like they need you at that certain point
Of
because it's
course,
like
they
the work
rely
is
on you.
so
Yeah,
hard.
because when you're an apprentice, it takes you time. Like it takes a chef or cook, line cooks, a lot of time to teach other apprentice.
Yeah. So once you're not
But
costing any
and once you're
energy,
considering, you just like
then they need your
okay,
help.
they need your help, and they rely on you.
Yeah.
And that's when I noticed, like, I mean, that I was doing something good,
Yeah.
because I was, and also because they arrived on the kitchen and I was earlier, and then I was leaving later.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, this guy is like really
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. And then,
But I'm talking like, I mean, almost 20 years ago, like South American cooks in Paris in 2, 3 Michelin star. It was like, this guy is like, what is this? This is like not never seen before.
yeah, that you would be working in a restaurant like
Yeah,
this.
like because I mean, in the other one that I was telling you, the Tex-Mex restaurant, okay, it was even like
But these are the fine dining.
no, this one's the one that we're talking about. It's like more finding the ones, but when I started like to wash dishes, it was people from Sri Lanka, like in a Mexican restaurant,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the cooking like Tex-Mex food. It's like
Yeah.
even though at the time was weird.
Yeah. And you worked in the kitchen at Robuchon
Yeah.
at the
So
atelier?
yeah, the atelier in Montparnasse when I
Yeah.
was in France.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun for me because um I I learned a lot about basic cooking French and how you break down a fish, how do you break down whole lamb, and how you do a simple reduction of sauce and its basic ingredients, good quality, achieved in a very special way. I loved it. I mean, that shaped the way I cook a lot, a lot.
Mm. And is it in Paris, the Montparnasse?
Yeah,
Is that the
Montparnasse.
Saint Germain
No,
one? It's a different
there's
one.
there used to be, but the original one was in Montparnasse
Oh, okay.
in the big
Did it
tower.
have that design? Are we talking about the one with the red and the black and the
Yes,
bar?
exactly. Red, the black,
It's
and the
and
bar.
it's
Have
it's,
you been?
it's
Yeah,
Japanese influence
it's
too.
super Japanese
So you're
influence,
going to a place that has
but
the
in
international.
their setup, but
Yeah.
in the way they cook, it's just like super French.
Super French.
Yeah.
And the mashed potatoes.
Best
Famous.
mashed potato.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made me remember that.
Yeah. No, I always go there. It's
Really?
whenever I go to Paris and I need like a quick but good meal,
That's the one.
just pop in. I just
Yeah,
walk in,
yeah.
sit at the thing, I get the little baby lamb chop.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's
did you
perfectly
Did you
cooked.
cook it?
Yeah, of course. That was like perfectly cooked.
The
I
langoustine.
was cleaning them all day long too.
Yeah. I love. Yeah.
The
I love.
langoustine, wow. So
Yeah.
you go very often.
Yeah. I had almost the whole menu. I love
Wow.
it. Yeah. And I love Robuchon.
The influence of this guy, it's been, I mean, incredible over a lot of chefs. And of course, on me was amazing. Like my dream was to work for him,
Yeah.
but I barely saw him like once.
Yeah. But he has such a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his way of cooking is so strong and it's so like definitive that it's very you can do it. It's and then so once you work there, now you're golden. Like you can work at places.
You can work in a lot of places, but like for me, it was a very dark path in my
Uh-huh.
career because um as a Colombian, you go to this restaurant and then you see this just like super fine dining things. And back home in Colombia, we don't have those restaurants.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, at the end, I know I'm here, but I don't know where I'm gonna be at the end, where I'm gonna go, what is gonna be the end of my career. Am I gonna end up being a line cook for the rest of my life in one of the French restaurants that I'm working right now, or maybe a sous chef in one of those restaurants, or I want to go back home. And and in the back of my mind, I always had coming back to Colombia, always. So it was, I didn't knew how to what was gonna be the end of my career. If I'm gonna be
So
open a
you
restaurant.
decided there.
I decided I wanted to work for Iñaki Aspirtarte.
Yeah.
You know him?
Of course.
Okay, this guy changed the whole.
Iñaki. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Iñaki changed for me the way I think about food, the way I think about restaurants, the way I thought about anything about I've learned before. Because Le Chateaubriand for me was a life changer. Because Le Chateaubriand, I think not a lot of chefs they know about this guy, not a lot of the industry know about this guy, but this guy, it was a life changer for a lot of
Oh
chefs.
yeah.
Le Chateaubriand was like number 6 in the world's 50 best restaurants
Yeah.
without having no stars.
Yeah. No stars. Very kind of like fast. No, not fast, but I mean it's like casual feeling. Like
Casual
very
feeling.
no,
It was
very
a bistro.
Yeah, it's a bistro.
But they were
It's not
serving
a
fine
fancy
dining.
restaurant. It
No.
made number 6.
And number 6.
And
But they were doing amazing
yeah,
food.
but one of my favorite things about Iñaki or the moment I met him like 1 or 2 times. The one time first time I met him, I was in France because we were gonna do a chef's table France, and a whole season. We have 4 episodes in France. I wanted him to be one of them. So I went to eat at the restaurant. Wasn't there. Came back again another night. He was there. Okay. Got him out, I found him outside. It was just like, "Hey," he's like, "Oh, you ever heard of our show, chefs?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. All right, no problem." And I was like, "Do you wanna be in like, do you ever drink the sushi?" And he's like, "No,
That's
I."
so Iñaki what you
Yeah,
just
he's like, "I
said.
don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch television. I don't care." And then, he's nice. He's like, "Yeah, no, I don't care." And, I was like, "Well, we make this show, the passion of the chef and all the things." I'm like, "Will you be on it?" And he's like, "No,
No,
no, no,
no, no, no.
no, no,
That's
no."
so
And
Iñaki.
I'm like, "Oh, man, that made me really wanna do it with him even more." And I'm gonna go circle back on that. Um, and we got very good chefs, but it's like, I he was so he doesn't need
No,
he only does it because he loves to cook.
he loves to smell onions. You know, like he takes his scooter, go back the onions, like the 3 onions he's gonna serve per day, and he chews them himself. That's the way Iñaki thinks about ingredients. That's then he comes back and starts to chop the onions, and he just serve like in a bistro, casual bistro, the most fine dining, refined food you can see in a simple, amazing way. And that made me think I was gonna be able to open a restaurant someday.
Yeah,
He made me think about that.
yeah.
So then I was with him, and then he told me once, when you open your restaurant, I want to be the first guest chef that comes to your restaurant. So Iñaki came to Colombia, and then we
Wow.
opened El Chato, and he told me, this is not you. This is the restaurant that is gonna ruin your life. You know the guy. So this is like
Yeah, no, he's very deadpan. He tells you
yeah,
he gives you the bad news
yeah, like
immediately.
right away. So we were in Medellin actually, like after he came to my restaurant, I invited him to Medellin, and then like we got drunk, and he's like, "Okay, what do you think about El Chato?" It's like, this is gonna ruin your life. This is gonna be the
Why?
end of you.
What were you doing? Because you were
And it was
bringing
just
in too
like
much Europe, or what
I
were you
was
doing?
like, no, I was just like, we were open for 2 months, and I was like waiting for a year to open the restaurant, and I was like super happy that he came. He came with Lolo, his partner that runs Ledo Fan, and these two guys is just too much energy to have in Colombia. I mean, they're so crazy.
Wait, who is so crazy?
Iñaki and Lolo, they're like, I mean, they're like a bomb. So we came to
Oh, and they're
Medellin.
working at they're doing
They
a
came. They
thing.
both came to do a pop up at the Chateau.
Right.
They just like said. I mean, when you open the restaurant, I just want to
Yeah, they
go
come and do it.
and I want to do it.
So what do you mean by they were a bomb? Like, it was hard
They they're just like super drunk guys going all over Colombia having fun. And in the middle of of a party that we were having, it's like, okay, you need to close that restaurant and rethink what you're doing. So it got me
why?
very hard because El Chato, when we began, it was like more a massive restaurant. Like at the time opening, as you're saying before, opening a Colombian restaurant for Colombians or even international crowd, it was like not thinkable at the time. It
Oh,
was not a
so
man.
you needed too many guests. You needed too many
He said like you need to lower your guests,
yeah,
you need to do
yeah.
something more
And
specific,
the pressure's too high
and the
to
pressure,
do
yeah.
money. Yeah, like
But I mean, I had a huge investment from my partners. It was a lot of pressure, and I thought it was like easier to begin, like not as strong as we are right now. And I think that's one of the most beautiful, interesting stories that we have because we he told me that, and it got my mind very hard. You know, like I mean, after he left, it was like, okay, I'm destroyed. You know, one of my mentors, he just like killed me in 2 seconds. Like I have already this build restaurant. What am I gonna do?
you spent a
So
year making the restaurant.
a year, like rebuilding the
Yeah.
whole house,
It's massive investment.
massive
And then
investment.
this is your thing, and you're so proud that he's gonna come and he's gonna like love. He's gonna think
Yeah,
this
and
is
he's
so
like,
amazing,
yeah, this
and then
is
he's gonna come. He's gonna bring the prestige. You're the first fine dining Colombian restaurant. I imagine that the only expensive restaurant in Colombia are like just straight French
yeah,
restaurant or something, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, at the time it was like guys. I was saying like Leonor Espinosa, Harry Sazon, Jorge Rauch, like these like guys that had been like for around, but it was like more French
No,
techniques
but
in
they
certain
weren't
ingredients.
cooking Colombian like
They were not cooking.
yours.
Only Leonor Espinosa was cooking Colombian food at the time.
You were not.
No, I knew I wanted to cook Colombian, and that's the reason I'm telling you the whole story because when when I came back from all this training in Europe, I wanted to apply all this to Colombian ingredients, and
Right.
that's what we do right now.
Yeah, because you have a new view.
Yeah,
You went there, you lost your fear of the ingredients in the
yeah,
market in Barcelona.
exactly. Yeah,
You learn all the technique and
yes,
everything.
yes,
Now you come back and you can see the possibility that
exactly.
nobody else saw.
Yeah.
They think that this is the plant. It's only for the plantain is only for the one thing, or the rice is only the one.
Yeah, but you can do vinegar plantain. You can do
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of things,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like that's the cool thing about Colombia. It's like if
Yeah,
you go, if it was an Argentinian chef training in France or a Peruvian chef training in France and then coming back, it will be like it will be like it's already bad that it has been already exploded. You know, like people they already know what's gonna happen. But when you come to Colombia with all this knowledge and then you start to apply all those techniques to Colombian ingredients, look the result.
yeah,
I think that's I mean one of the proudest things I have is just that we are working with cooks of Colombia that they never thought they were gonna cook at this level,
right.
and the
And you're
people
teaching
and
them.
we're teaching them. So the amount of cooks coming out of the restaurant, opening the restaurants, like all my chefs de cuisine, they have been opening amazing restaurants right now. So we're becoming a community of restaurants, like showing Colombia what we have, showing
Yeah.
Colombians what we have in international community, what Colombia's possibilities are. You told me you want to come to the coffee region. This is such an amazing country that has so endless opportunities.
Yeah. No, an amazing climate for good produce
Amazing,
and things.
exactly.
That's why you have the most delicious orange and you have the incredible coffee plants and you
you
have the
t-
volcanic soil. You have all the things.
you talked to me about about fruit. What was the one of
Yeah.
your memories on your mind? Imagine all the endless opportunities we
Yeah.
had on fruits there.
So it seems like Colombia, because, I had Wolfgang Puck, he's a friend of mine.
Oh,
He came
really?
on the show.
You know,
Yeah.
I've never. I think I thought does that guy really exist? I mean, I've never
No, he's
seen.
real.
Okay,
He's not just a face on a thing.
because he's
He's not Chef
okay,
Boyardee. No,
because
he's
I've
real.
only seen him in airports and
I have a
everywhere.
documentary for you to see
Okay,
because I made a documentary about him and his story has many parallels. He it was a shame to be a cook. He left,
how old is
ran
he?
away. He ran away from his stepfather and his mom,
Wow,
went to
he's
France,
American, no?
didn't call them, didn't tell them what he was doing. No, he's Austrian.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
we'll get you the thing, okay?
Okay,
We'll give you the podcast
okay.
also. Okay, so in America, before Wolfgang Puck became famous, there was no like celebrity chef in America. And so being a cook in America was like not so cool. The only place in the world, this is in the 70s, 60s, the French chefs were like, you had Paul Bocuse and you had these like legends of French cuisine that were famous in France and amongst people. But like it took a long time for it to become respectable to be a chef. And so until that happens, I think there's a lot of pressure for kids in Colombia to not they don't think it's a thing. They don't think that fine dining is a thing, and the parents don't respect it. It takes someone who just believes so much in a thing or to taste a cucumber that see the possibility, this swirl of things that kind of came together, and then you have a vision for it. And so now I think you can help break the dam, like because Colombia was one of the last South American places that where it's like still was not cool to be a chef.
No,
And
not
so
anymore.
yeah,
Not
you're changing
anymore.
it,
No,
right?
not anymore.
Yeah,
No.
no, it's an amazing thing. And it takes a lot of courage for someone to do that. But why in Colombia do you think the pressure is so high to please the parents, right? Because you have to defy the parent in order to become one of the first wave of cooks there. Is
It's
there anything particular you think about?
it's education, you know. It's how approachable you are to family. It's like Colombian, they're like very close, you know. Like I think, for example, here in the U.S., when you have your kids, there's 4 and 6, you already know where they're gonna be, but you're still thinking where they're gonna go. You're already investment on their education, how this gonna end up. A lot in
I'm
Colombia,
not thinking about any of that.
but maybe in the
No,
US,
I'm kidding.
sometimes like people they're like more. It's more easy to think about education in certain ways
Sure,
because,
sure. Yeah, yeah.
but in Colombia, it's very very hard. You know, like
Because
people.
they think you have to be, you're going to be with this family forever.
Yeah,
And if
and
you don't,
exactly, you're very united. And if then something happens, you have your family, and then you go back, and that's like your safe zone. But I mean, that's something that is changing. Like especially through cooking, I think it's very strong because I think cooks are like pirates. Cooks once they leave home, they never go back,
oh,
and it's something that you have in your blood and in your mind. And once you touch a kitchen, it will never let you go back. If you're passionate enough to follow that passion and to follow that path, you will never go back.
well, no,
And
that's
that's
the view in
something
Colombia because there's nowhere to come back to
that's
once
the way.
you're,
No, but no, at the end, you know, like cooks when they once, for
are
example,
you talking about all cooks? That they never come back?
I talking mainly about the cooks that they come to my restaurant because I feel like I'm very proud of the all brigade that has been working for us with us for the past 8 years that we've been open. because we are creating something unique. We are creating like people to be passionate and feel how they can like just not become a fine dining restaurant if they leave us. They can do whatever, and in Colombia it's not a matter of opening a fine dining restaurant. I decided that because that was my background, but I mean I really invest a lot on people, and people have to know that doesn't that like freedom and like your achievement doesn't have to be on fine dining. You can open
Mm.
a burger joint, but you have to make the bread, you have to brine the meat, you have to make the mayo. Even if you can make the cheese, it will be amazing. That's how you achieve something different.
How do you get the farmers to open their mind to make more delicious food, and you make
It's
it safe for them that somebody will buy this?
Yeah, it's just like, for example, when I came back like of my training outside Colombia, and then I was seeing like purple potatoes, and it's just like, I mean, purple potatoes is not a thing that Colombians see as normal, but they exist. And if you go to
They exist
farmers,
in
they exist.
Colombia.
I mean, they existed before like the white potatoes. They're like, I mean, like heirloom potatoes. They're like all over. It's just like farmers that they don't want to push to grow them anymore because people
They can't sell them.
they can sell them. People they see them as bad, as like if it's a purple potato, I'm not gonna make a puree of rubbish on in purple.
Yeah,
That's the way people think about food and ingredients sometimes in Colombia.
yeah.
So restaurants like El Chato, they're pushing those boundaries, like to people to feel proud that there's a natural purple potato that can taste as delicious as the white one, and that's something we work a lot on.
So you go around to farms, you help to show the farmer that there's something beautiful that they right under their nose they don't know.
We don't even use olive oil in the restaurant.
Uh,
We only use Colombian ingredients. That's our goal.
uh,
We make our fish sauce. We do everything in the restaurant. That for me is like the challenge. You know,
yeah, so you're proving that
there's endless
there's so
opportunity.
much more value
Yeah, I
than
mean,
they know.
exactly. And Amazon, in the Amazon of Colombia, we can find so many things that we can replace on instead of soy sauce. We can use tucupi, which is for me it's like the unknown soy sauce of the world. I don't know if you tried it, but
Wait, is it again?
tucupi, it's like it's a fermenter from the cassava.
Oh,
Next time I'll see you, I'll bring you some. You're gonna love it.
is that something you develop, or is that something?
No, it's native. I mean, there's
It's
like
native thing.
16. It's a, like a,
I can't
In
remember.
Brazil, they like Alex Atala, this famous chef.
Yeah, he was on the show.
He
I know Alex
yeah,
Atala.
he has the yellow one. In Brazilians they do the yellow one. In Colombia we have the black one. There's a lot of possibilities from ants, termites. It's a lot of
Oh,
things.
you cook termite?
I tried on tucupi, and it's super spicy, and it's
Oh, the
tasty.
termite is spicy.
The termite cucupi, it's super spicy, but it's like a lot of umami in your mouth, makes you melt your mouth a lot. I mean, next time I'll see you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna give it to your kids.
What, give them the termite? I mean, they might be down for that. I remember if Alex Atala, he has the ants that taste like lemongrass.
Yeah, exactly. That's from those are from the Amazon, and
Yeah,
we share
that turned me around on ant, by the way, because I was like,
really.
yeah, I'm not gonna eat the bugs.
Well,
So
actually, I was cooking yesterday at Meteora with Chef Jordan Khan,
yeah.
and we brought ants from the north of Colombia, and we
Oh,
call them biggest ants. And those ants, we made an ice cream out of that. And when we were doing the
ant
briefing to the
scream.
ant cream, and when we were talking
You
to
can have that.
staff,
That's yours.
that's yours.
Yeah, no, you can
You're
have
gonna
it.
give
No,
it
I
to your
want you to
kids.
have
You're
it. I
gonna
want
give
you
it
to
to your
have the ant
kids.
scream. You can use that.
So when we were doing the briefing, like there were a lot of Latin Americans, and they were scared out of it. It's like okay, and there were like 3 Colombians on the team, and they didn't want to try it. It's like this is like so Colombian. This is like I mean, it might sound weird to you, but like at the end, it was a tasting menu, so people they had to eat it. They had to try it at least, and everyone was blown away about the ant ice cream.
Yeah,
And how do you call it?
ant scream.
Ant cream. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's how you show
You change the mind.
you change the mind of
Yeah,
someone.
yeah. Now, is there something that you did that outraged the Colombian diner?
Yeah, of
How do you
course.
what did you do?
Wow, I can tell you 1,000 stories about it. But I mean, people they will never feel that I'm Colombian. They think I'm just like a weird guy cooking whatever comes out of my mouth or my mind.
Cooking
This,
things that are not supposed to be food?
no, they're not supposed to be food. They're not
Give me
supposed
a
to be
story. Give
color.
me one story that's
I
a good
mean,
one.
this guy's like the other day we were cooking like this. There's like this herb called huasca, and normally when you mix it with potatoes and broth, chicken broth, it becomes ajiaco, which is like one of the most typical soups in Colombia. So I
One
was
of the most
playing
typical soups.
soups. So I was playing like with the potato on the leaf, and then I had like a dish. I don't remember exactly which one, but the diners I just remember the rage out of them. It's like, oh, this guy's trying to uh intervene our most like typical soup just by playing with those two ingredients, and I get a lot of rage about that
Oh, so this one was where
because
they have
you
you
don't
don't
mess with
mess
tradition. You
you
don't
don't
mess
mess with
with
grandma's
tradition.
recipe.
Exactly.
You
That
don't
was
mess
the. But I was not trying to mess with that. It was just trying to show possibilities of the same two ingredients without the chicken. But it's not like I'm not calling it a hiaco. I'm not calling it the typical soup. I'm just trying to show the possibilities. So then I learned that I needed to be further, like to invest, like to investigate more and like to intervene ingredients in another way. Because if you mess like certain traditions, people they were like super
and you
pissed off.
call it that, then it's the blasphemy, right?
Exactly. It's like
Yeah, and it's a
Italians.
religious,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
thing for
Yeah.
them.
But I don't know. It's just people, they are not very proud of sometimes on what we do because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a fun thing to do for me and like to play with it around.
Yeah, you like to defy expectation.
Yes, exactly.
Again,
Exactly. And
people say that you can't do it, and then that really sets something off in you, huh?
and at the end it proves, I just think like food, it's there's just two types of food, the good one or the bad one. And as
Mm.
long as you do good things and you are proud of what you do, things are gonna work out some way.
What's the challenge you're working on now? What did somebody say wouldn't work that you're now about to prove them wrong on?
Like for example, we work a lot on fruits, on savory parts. So for example, we ferment a lot of fruits and we do a lot of vinegars and a lot of experiments on fruits. And one of the we're not a wine producer country, so our pairing, it's mainly fruits. So
Like fermented.
fermented clarified juices of fruits. We only do we'll do a non-alcoholic pairing. I'm so proud of it because we show possibilities of fruits on people that they were never thought about. And for example, when you think on a dessert, you will go easy. The easy way might be on fruits, but we use vegetables as desserts, and we use
Mm,
fruits as savory,
yeah.
and that's something that it's a big challenge. It's a huge challenge for a restaurant, especially when you change that much. But I think I'm having a lot of fun. It's like
Yeah.
what I enjoy doing.
Was there a moment where, because I know that the first one, it was like you didn't have enough guests who wanted this kind of food to do the investment, and you had to close that
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
Then you start something that's small. You take your learnings and you create something that's a little more intimate. Is it smaller restaurant than the first one you did?
No, the first one we started, it was like more kind of daily basic food that we want to do.
Yeah,
And I was not the chef at the beginning. I was like I was investing my savings on that. And then when it was almost bankrupt, I said like we're gonna take the name and we're gonna build this new one.
got it.
So through failure, you understand so many
Oh
things.
yeah,
It's so important to fail in life, and to fail on those kind of processes makes you reevaluate where you want to go. So when I opened this restaurant, I needed to have a balance between what customer wanted and the ego from a chef.
yeah.
And at the beginning, the ego runs over all,
Mm,
because you had the opportunity to become a chef. Now
yeah,
you need to show the world how good you are.
yeah. But you don't have the patience to
And
teach them.
exactly. So that's when I was a boss, and now I'm a good leader. That's the difference of the time. Because right now I don't
Uh,
have the pressure of the time. Of course, it's challenging. It's a lot, but at the time we were only 6 cooks serving 80 people. Now we are around 30 serving 55.
wow, there you go.
Yeah.
And the business works because you give people the opportunity not to have food that's difficult for them if they don't want to.
No, but it's also very important to have them approachable in certain way, especially for because I mean, how can you change the food culture in a country that never had it before? You cannot have a tasting menu that a Colombian cannot pay. You have to have lower
Sure, there you
prices.
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's the reason I keep it a la carte. Like you can come to my restaurant and dine a dish, like a la carte dish for $19, $15, 16 the US dollars,
yeah.
and you can order it. Two people can eat in my restaurant for $50.
But if people want to go for it,
They go in the
they
tasting.
can go to the tasting room, and then
Tasting.
they can
But
they can
that's
go and
yeah.
get
But
the
that's
high end
more, yeah,
experience. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where we get more like internationals because they're like very interested in what I was just saying about fruits and vegetables
yeah.
and the tucupi and the ant cream.
What does it mean to you to be okay? So now nobody ever thought that a Colombian restaurant could be like one of the 100 best restaurants. Like, how does that feel to get the recognition that Colombian food, like your theory that Colombian food can be so delicious.
Well, I need to pinch myself at the beginning. Never thought I was gonna be able to achieve that. If I had it on my mind and I want to achieve and I build this restaurant just to achieve that, I will never be able to achieve it. It was a process daily, day by day, like trying to understand what we did and how good we were. It's a matter of passions.
Yeah, but then you follow the passion.
It's just too much fun for me.
Uh,
It's too much fun for me. Like my mother, she says that if I don't have 18 problems per day, I'm not happy,
yeah,
and that's what cooking gives me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm a workaholic. I'm like so much into it that I mean, I dream about food. I wake up thinking about food. I just want to be in the restaurant all day. It's just too much fun for me.
So that's it. You find the joy there, and
Yeah,
then it's like you're making magic tricks and doing like
yeah.
you get to reveal the magic to the customer. It's like, oh, you didn't like a beat. Guess what?
Guess what? This can be turned on in something different. And imagine, like, for example, if I came out of Spain and cooking like paella, open a paella restaurant in Colombia, I will be like a restaurateur. I won't be a chef. I will be bored as hell, getting fat on my ass. It's just like, I mean, this is the real thing. Being a cook is the drive for me.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's really inspiring. What is the lesson then? What are you going to tell the young? Let's just like talk to the young people in Colombia to encourage them.
It's just like follow what you really. I mean, this is not a matter of being recognized as an artist or being or like a celebrity, which a lot of people they get into this because of they might think chefs like right now they're like a big deal. It's like 30 years ago, it just like it was not like that.
Well, actually, yeah, because at the beginning of your story, being a chef is too much of a shame for you to even tell your mother.
Yeah, but it's not
And
like
now you have young people who are like, I'm going to be a star by being a chef. So what do you want to tell them?
just come to my restaurant for a couple of days and then you will realize if you want to cook it more or not. Like I mean, as I was telling you, just like leave and take a taxi with their uniform on. It's just this is
You know, you learn, you have to have it in you.
you have to have it in
And you
you.
don't
You
do it
have to have it
because
in
you want
you.
to be famous or rich.
No, no. Like a lot of restaurants and a lot of chefs, they open their restaurants to achieve an award and a prize or something. I think when I opened my restaurant, I just wanted to have fun, and I keep that going. That's my drive, Like that's something that you really need to understand when you come in this business. You
Yeah.
have to have fun. I mean, it's not about ego. It's not about because once it's restaurants are like babies, once they're like 3 4 5 years old, you start to know them very well and know how they mature they can be and like the possibilities that they might have. So I think we have been open for 8 years now, and I started to have so much fun like 3 years ago. Like I was like after 5 years of struggling and like knowing not really knowing it was sustainable or not. 3 years ago I started like to enjoy myself so much.
What's the change? Like when does it click to enjoyment and fun?
People we saw it we stabilized it like as a business through my ego, through the way I wanted to show ingredients of Colombia, and like losing fear of what we were not gonna be full next day.
Losing the fear now that you don't have to worry about these all you're not you lose the
um,
fear and the worry and then you're able to just play, right?
exactly, and once you achieve that, you just like liberate yourself. It's like, I mean, you are enjoying cooking, you are enjoying yourself, and people are having fun through what you do. So that took us time.
Yeah,
Took us a lot of time.
right. So to have fun and play and it to be easy, be a restaurateur.
Yeah.
But
At the end,
you have
sometimes
to suffer
I
first.
did. I have to suffer, but I mean, and I still cook a lot. Like yesterday, we were like doing this pop up with Jordan Can, and it was I run so much, and like people like
He's been through it too.
yeah, and people they wanted me to be outside explaining like the ant cream, and we brought a lot of ingredients from Colombia. It's like, what is this? What is this? What is that? They wanted like to. They were like so curious about it, and we got a couple of Colombians there last night, and they were like so proud of what we do.
Yeah,
That's that's amazing to see.
it is. It is. What do you want your daughter to what do you want what kind of life do you want for your daughter? Like what's your vision for the future of your family?
Well, I mean, I'm like a little bit like you. I do go day by day with her, but because I don't know, she's just too young, and but I would love her to be part of my business at some point, if she really wants to. Um, because I think she doesn't really understand so far what like real discipline is.
Mm.
And I think through cooking she can learn a lot about that.
How old is she now?
11.
And you're just like, she don't, you're
I
worried about her
used
discipline at age 11.
well, I mean, I just like she's like not worried that much. I mean, I sound like a little bit strict about it, but
Yeah.
it's just that she needs like some structure sometimes, and I think cooking can give her that.
Yeah. Do you think that I find that my kids misbehave when they're bored? When they don't, yeah, if they feel like they're bored, like even on a Saturday, they're like, all they want to do is like, they have a certain amount of time they can play on the video game, and
And
that's
they are
it.
two. Mine, I only have one. So how
Yeah.
bored can she get?
And then they're like, oh, everything's so boring. And I'm then like, that only happens if I'm like, oh, let's just relax today. And it's like, hell no, I
No,
have to give them the activity. We have
no,
to go
no.
do the thing. Once they start doing the thing, then it's fun. But that's hard. What are the values? So regardless of, you don't know, maybe she'll want to be in the thing. She can work for you a little bit. Maybe she'll want to be in the business. That'd be amazing.
I mean, it's just that. I mean, as
But
I
what is
told
the
you,
value? I think that like, what are the values? What are your values? And what when she sees you, what do you want her to see that to inspire her?
well, I mean, she gets a lot. She gets me a lot on the way that she says that I'm like not enjoying it as much as I can because of my way of working.
So she says that you,
I like
she told you.
she tells me every
What
time.
does she tell you?
She's like, my career is like tearing us apart.
She says that your career is
It's tearing
tearing.
us apart a
Oh,
certain way because I spend so much time working that I mean I barely have time for her
oh,
sometimes,
yeah,
and that's also very hard of being a cook, because
yeah,
especially if she's not involved. That's the reason I said if she will get involved in some way, I will be able to spend more time with her. But she's just too young for that. I
yeah.
remember like once she had a project like I want to make marshmallows, and I said okay, let's do a beetroot marshmallow for your friends. It's like, what are you gonna do? And I don't want to do it anymore. When she realized that she had to do the whole process to being able to achieve what she wanted, she flaked on that. So I think I need to try on that once more because she was like younger, but I think it's fun to being able to accomplish something and then being able to with your hands
Mm.
and then being able to sell it or like to gain out of it something. That's something that I would love to do with her.
What does she love to do?
She loves to be, like talking with her friends on her iPad. That's like
Talking with
some,
her friend on the iPad,
yeah, like
chatting.
iPad chatting all day long.
What does she do?
She's just like sending pictures of herself with her. Like I know she, you know what she does a lot that I really like. She like films herself, and she has like this little application that it makes an edition for a video. So like she likes to edit and put music on videos that she makes for
Okay.
herself. She's very good at
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Did you tell her?
yeah, of course.
What I've learned is the positive reinforcement is the only thing that will ever work. And if you disapprove, you say, "Oh, you're doing
Yeah,
the thing too much." It's
the worst.
then they feel like, because it's not about that. They want you to know that you love them no matter what. And when you had the disaster of poisoning your entire family in the most important meal you cooked in your life, your mother didn't run away. She
She
said,
was
"I'm going to
there.
help you." And she
Yeah,
says, "You know what? You believe in the thing. I feel sick as hell, but I believe in the thing." And then she sent you to the culinary school. And that's like a beautiful thing.
yeah,
That's a good parent.
that's a good part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, show them like how endless love can be for them.
That's what it is. That's all that they need. And that's the thing. If they feel endless love, then they make the right
Yeah,
decisions.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
We may not understand what they're doing, but
You don't have to at the
they'll
beginning.
have a good
Yeah,
values at least.
yeah, at least.
Yeah. And they'll make a good
Yeah.
choice. Yeah. That's a good lesson. It was a really great
No,
conversation.
thank you.